This is your last chance. Where is my family?
Hey everyone, my name is Jason and welcome to BACKTRACK Cinema. In this review today, we'll be taking a look at the Fox hit 24.
With all due respect, Senator, I almost died today trying to protect you.
Released in 2001, created by Joel Surnow and Robert Cochrane, and starring Kiefer Sutherland, Sarah Clarke, Dennis Haysbert, Elisha Cuthbert, and Leslie Hope. So pop some popcorn, get a drink, and let's talk some 24. The story follows Jack Bauer, a counter-terrorist agent, who finds out about an assassination attempt on a presidential candidate. Meanwhile, the people behind the assassination kidnap Jack's family and try to frame him for killing David Palmer. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jason. You're watching BACKTRACK Cinema, where we talk movies of the past. So today, guys, we're going to be talking about 24. We're going to get into a TV series here. This was just unexpected, really. 24 has always been my favorite show of all time. And it's just a show that my wife and I we started to binge. Like, we haven't revisited this in quite some time. So I thought, why not bust some freaking reviews out? Let's get into some TV stuff. And this is your classic action thriller. When I think of action thriller, actually, 24 is the first thing that comes to mind. There's a sense of urgency. It's edge of your seat stuff. You know, the clock is ticking, literally. And it's just a fantastic show, and it's created probably one of the most iconic characters ever on TV, with Jack Bauer, played by Kiefer Sutherland. And, you know, my mom introduced me to this show originally. Like, she was on season 4 when I started watching, and then I went, oh man, I gotta catch up, right? And it's always been my favorite show ever since. It's one of the only shows I'll actually revisit every few years. And it's been quite some time. So I'm excited to talk to you guys about 24. This could be heavy spoilers, guys. If I want to talk about this properly, we're going to get into spoilers. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it, binge the first season, then come back and watch this. So what 24 does so brilliant, guys, is that concept about how every episode is an hour in real time. So 24 episodes in the season, and we get a full day that we see these characters' lives and the situations they're under 24 hours. What a brilliant concept, especially what you can do for an action thriller. Goes for a great ride. It's a great thriller, a great ride you go on. It's got intense moments. It's got great action, but this concept is so good. You think about the Groundhog Day concept, right? How everyone takes that and puts it in its own genre. I'm really surprised people haven't taken the 24 concept and applied it to several genres, because it can really work. If you think about the worst day you've ever had, or the most intense day you've ever had, where all this shit happened, and you put it into an episodic series like this, I'm just surprised more people haven't talked about it. And yeah, the concept is great. I mean, it's literally a race against the clock. And that's what really it puts you on really big cliffhangers. Thank God the series is over for a lot of you, because you can just binge the whole thing now. So that's fantastic. But when you're watching it in the moment, you're like, oh, I can't wait till next week. I mean, I missed Monday night Jack Bauer night. It was so exciting to see what he had to deal with on each week. So just exciting stuff. What I really like about 24 too is you get to see the point of view of the protagonists of this series, which is Senator Palmer, Jack Bauer, and you get to see the point of view of the antagonist too. Like, all the villains through this show, and each episode keeps pulling back layers and layers and layers. There's plot twists. There's big surprises. The show's iconic for all these surprises you get. There's spies and everything within their own agency, so they have to do things quietly and sneak around people and, try to get evidence. And it's just fantastic, riveting stuff. That's one thing I like about the villains. You see all the preparation they've done for this day, this assassination attempt, try to frame Jack Bauer for it, all this kind of stuff. You see how much pressure they're under too, because they're answering to somebody, then this villain answers to this person. And you see that progression, and I really like that. Same with what's happening at CTU, finding out who these people are and what they want and why they're trying to do this. So you see all points of views in the show, and I love that. And now originally Fox only ordered 13 episodes of the first season in case it, it didn't do well. They could end one season. That's why you watch this. The first half of this feels very, very much like its own identity. And then the second half I think they wrote and filmed after it was successful. So the first half really feels like there is an ending. Kind of like if it did end, you still would have got an ending. I think the first half is a lot better than the second half, personally. It still ends great. It's got a riveting ending and all that kind of stuff. But I love the first half of this. It's very pulse pounding and on edge of your seat, sweaty palms. Really thrilling, intense. You know what I mean? It's just really great stuff here. It's really about family and relationships between fathers and sons, fathers and daughters. Because we get, Jack Bauer, he's trying to put his family back together. That's essentially what he's trying to do. He's moved back in with his family. All this is like exposition, right? He says at one point, I've tried to put a wall up between my work and my family, and that wall's coming down because what he does for a living has leaked into his family life, kidnapping his daughter and his wife and stuff. I just really like the motives of the characters, and you're right on Jack's side. All these characters you can really root for. And with Senator Palmer, there's this murder scandal that comes out with his son that happened 7 years ago that could affect him becoming president. And, it's all about answering the moral code. Do I tell the truth or I lie and cover things up and, just to protect my shot at being president? And Senator Palmer's family is tested, man, and they are tested hard. So I just like all the family dynamics, the family drama you're getting with it, and just the moral questions it asks. And with Jack Bauer, how is he going to get his family back, and the stuff he has to do it, the situations he's put through, and the situations all the characters are put through. Like there's one point in this show where Jack's daughter and wife, they're captured, they're placed, they're held somewhere. One guy comes in to take his daughter, like to rape her, right? And she keeps fighting, and the mother steps in and says, "I won't fight you." And that situation, I mean, any mother would, gladly take the place, I'm sure, of their kid. But it's like, look at the situations they're putting people in, man. And that's a consistent thing through this whole series. The stand-up performances for me are Kiefer Sutherland as Jack Bauer and Dennis Haysbert as Senator Palmer. They both have really captivating and moving performances, man. And with Jack Bauer, he's a very serious, no-bones character. He wound up really tight. I mean, even before all the shit hits the fan and all this stuff goes down, when we see him at the very beginning, he's even kind of wound up. You know what I mean? He's just a very serious character who, believes in saving lives, believes in saving his family, and he'll do anything to protect his family and to protect Senator Palmer. That's one thing that he tries to balance that's so engaging to watch is...
How did you screw me? Just do this. Do you understand? Please, don't hurt my family.
He's trying to protect his family, but he's also trying to protect Senator Palmer and balance us out within this 24 hours. And it's just riveting. But there's a few moments in this where Kiefer Sutherland's acting is just fan-fucking-tastic. There's a moment in the film where he's told that his daughter has died, but she really hasn't. And he's ready, to take out all the villains, I'll take out all these bad guys and everything like that. And to go get her, and he finds out that she's died, and he just drops, and he's gut punched, man. He just breaks down in tears, and you see the tears turn to anger, right? It's just a fantastic ending. And then we got the mole, Nina Myers, and Nina Myers is someone Jack works with. She helps him throughout this show, and she ends up being the mole at the end of this. And he had a personal relationship with Nina when he was separated from his wife, He was intimate with her and all that kind of stuff. So he trusts her through this whole thing. And you never think it's her because early on in the season, they rule that out. There's a situation that happens where it's like, oh, it can't be her. And then when you find out she's the mole at the end, it's just, it's a gut punch. The man put all his trust in her to protect his family and everything like that. And when they finally meet, after all said and done, Jack's just like ready to pull a bullet in her brain, man. He's got her by the frickin' throat. And he goes, "I trusted you with my family." And he's just, Kiefer Sutherland is so fucking intense in this, man. One of my... Oh, so good. So good, man. And then the big kick in the balls at the fucking end of this is Jack's wife dies. Man, it's a kick in the balls.
I'm so sorry. So sorry.
But necessary, I think. 3 different endings were filmed where Terry dies and Terry doesn't die. And so the one that we see, Terry ends up getting killed. So after all what Jack has gone through this day, bringing his family back, trying to save the day, but it comes at a huge price. It comes at a huge cost with his wife dying. And it really sets up Jack's character arc through this whole series. And it makes a lot of sense. If Terry didn't die, Jack would have got out of CTU and he just would have probably went off somewhere, but his family would have been together. And that, I think that's what would have happened. And he wouldn't really be pulled away back into these situations, back into his job, because he has his family. Whereas you get rid of Terry, you kill her, season by season, his humanity just gets ripped piece by piece, little by little. It's just a great riveting show. Story and character, guys. Story, character, story and character, story and character. This is what makes these shows work, man. You know what I mean? It's just fantastic. And I'd like to add that the score is really good too. The score is quite good, actually. I really like the main theme. I like how it builds tension with the music. You know, it really goes for a lot of tension. And then when things are getting suspenseful, the music picks up. You know what I mean? There's great action in it. There's great shootouts. It's not as big as the other seasons get. There's some really big action set pieces with the other seasons, but this is more, I would say, low scale, more personal. Now, as far as negatives on this show, guys, I only really have 2. One is Elisha Cuthbert's performance. I guess I'm very mixed on it. She's off and on. I think sometimes when she's scared or when she's screaming and stuff like that, I find her not to be great. And other times I think she cashes in a pretty good performance. I like the character of Kim Bauer. I just think the acting of Elisha Cuthbert is hit and miss throughout this season. And there's another part in the second half of the season where there's a few episodes where it really drags and takes away from all the other good stuff. And that's where Terry Bauer, Jack's wife, goes. She kind of gets amnesia. She's completely emotionally, completely drained. And she has this temporary amnesia. And I just feel like it's slowing the show down. I don't think it's necessarily needed. I mean, it's just to show her emotional stress, which I get. But it's also showing that, she was seeing someone when her and Jack were separated. This doctor character who comes into the picture here that she doesn't remember. And at the end of the episode, she gets her memory back all of a sudden. But so that's not really it. Just a little bit of acting from Elisha Cuthbert in this. The second half slows down a bit with this subplot with Terry Bauer. I really recommend you watching 24 season 1. So I'm going to give 24 season 1 a B+. But what about you guys? Have you seen 24? Have you seen season 1? Have you seen all the seasons? Let's have a good discussion about 24. And let me know if you're interested in me reviewing the other seasons, because I will certainly do that, depending how this video performs. But I'll likely talk about this crap anyway. I love it. I love 24, man. Like I said, it's my favorite show of all time. So hit me up in the comments there. Let's talk about Jack Bauer. Let's talk about 24. If you like action, you like thriller, I have done a lot of reviews. So go down the rabbit hole, check out the channel, all that stuff. If you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on all the upcoming content. My name is Jason. You're watching Backtrack Cinema. I will see you next time, and I will see you in the movies. Cheers.